I remember when I was at my lowest as well, Christmas 2020, 21. I always get the year not quite right. But I remember I sat in this room. It wasn't a podcast studio at the time, and I was in one of those low moods where every thought I was having was negative, and then you beat yourself up because every thought you're having is a negative one, and then you start saying you're a negative person, like labeling yourself with like the depression things, the anxiety things, the low mood things, all of those kind of things. I broke down crying. And I remember looking in the mirror, and something just in my head was like, "Why are you like? What is making you upset?" And I
Mhm.
remember it vividly. I just cracked a smile at myself in the mirror and was like, what's going on? Like, what is going on? And one thing
Yeah,
that's, I'm on a bit of a little bit of a segue here, but one thing that's really easy to do when you're feeling low and having those negative thoughts about yourself is then think that is it. Like that is part of you. Whereas
yeah,
actually, it isn't. It's just a moment in time.
yeah,
And then one thing that's amazing about this episode is we've got two people, you completely different circumstances to me with kids, with an ex-husband, and me in that state of depression, not really knowing, or low mood, not really knowing why, but I'd got myself there through multiple different actions and ways I was being and doing and all of those kind of things as we're aware now, that has given, can give hope and can give a little bit of hopefully inspiration to others, that if you are in that state and you are listening, doing really basic things, basic acts of self-care, realizing that it's not a forever thing, and just taking small little actions to building up self-worth, which we'll speak about shortly, for you building back up confidence, for me, is a way to then creating a new version of you. And one question I do have for you is, do you look back at the version of you then 4 years ago with a degree of empathy and sympathy, or do you look back and think, whoa, I'd rather not attach myself to that person? Because I know for me, I have real, when I talk about me being 23 stone, overweight, low mood, sad, depressed, I get a little bit like, I catch myself being that it was Harry at the end of the day, it was me. Like, and I find myself almost detaching myself from that person sometimes. And I need to be, and sometimes I find I need to be a little bit more sympathetic because I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the knowledge, and now I've got those things. Look what I've been able to do because of it, you know? So yeah,
yeah.
do you have the same kind of challenges?
I don't really think about it, to be honest, but what I do, I look back and I've never got sympathy because I don't sympathise with people that's feeling sorry for them. I don't do that. But I have a lot of empathy for myself because it was hard. But I'm also proud because I didn't stay there.
Mm,
I didn't stay there. I could have. I could not be here right now. I could have made that choice. You know, would have been easier for me than having to do all the work. Not for anyone else, but for me, it would have been easier. But I didn't.
mm.
I found out who I needed help, who I needed in my life to help me, and I've done the work. So I've got empathy for her, but I'm glad I was that person because I wouldn't be who I am today without being that person.
And the same, as hard as it is to put it across to people who sometimes aren't ready to hear it, we are told and we've learned that those things that happen in our lives happen for us, not to us, which
Yeah.
almost enables us to not be stuck in that mode of, for fuck's sakes, like this has happened to me and therefore this is happening and therefore I am this.